Like when I got here in 2018, UFC 221.
That's it. Israel Adesanya. So-so according to him, but the last style bender does it 12-0. He makes good on the UFC debut tonight.
I was that kid, bright eyes and everything. So seeing them bright-eyed and like, wow, I'm about to get in the UFC, or I'm in the UFC doing it, kind of reignites that flame. And also taking the time off did that for me. So yeah, walking back into work.
Oh! Adesanya trying to close it out! Your new undisputed middleweight champion, Israel Adesanya.
Israel Adesanya has an opportunity to become the three-time UFC Middleweight Champion and once again write his name down in the history of mixed martial arts, as Avatar already set himself after a short break which he took since the loss to Sean Strickland. The last stylebender got hungry again and is ready to add more scalps to his collection. And in the lead up to his fight with Dricus du Plessis at UFC 305, we suggest you remember the most vivid performances of the last stylebender when he shocked the world. Number 10. James Griffiths. Let's start today's compilation with the debut performance of our hero in mixed martial arts. On March the 24th of 2012, while still competing in kickboxing, Adesanya already began to make his first steps in the sport of MMA. At the local SFC event, which took place in Israel's native Oakland, he clashed with the American fighter.
Yes, name's Israel Adesanya, and I am from City MMA. That's my professional MMA debut.
As you can see, young Adesanya wasn't the style bender yet, which can be clearly seen from his stance that is very different from his current one. However, everybody starts somewhere and he still was a big threat in terms of striking, at least thanks to his experience in kickboxing and Muay Thai. Israel was confidently moving out of the line of attack, did not let himself get hit, and masterfully feinted at his vis-a-vis. Griffiths was constantly baiting on Israel's fakes and completely exposing himself, or his reactions to strike attempts and stuff, so the New Zealander's finish was just a matter of time. In fact, after 2 minutes from the start, Adesanya successfully finished James with a knee and follow-up shots.
Stand-up fighter, but he needs to take it to the ground. Oh no! What was that?
There was a jumping knee, and now it's Adesanya. He's on the top. He's finishing Griffith. Can he lock him up? Oh, the head bouncing off the canvas. It could be all over. Terry Hill coming in closely. And
breaking into the new sport like it was his home.
I was nervous, man. It's like, a wedding night. So I just felt the nerves, and so when you get in here, everything just feels smooth.
Number 9. Melvin Guillard. Now, let's move to the end of July of 2017. By that time, our hero has already left kickboxing for good and set his sights on conquering the mixed martial arts. His record accounted for 9 stoppage victories, and the local Australian Fighting Championship League offered him to earn the anniversary win in the title bout. At the 20th event of this organisation, Israel Adesanya faced the very experienced Melvin Guillard, who spent 15 years in this sport. The main event of the evening started rather quickly. Adesanya had time to throw only one high kick and was immediately met with an aggressive takedown attempt from his opponent.
Shoots! Oh, Melvin goes for the takedown and he may have it! Oh my goodness!
Guillard used all of his resources to drag the kickboxer down into deep waters and get behind his back. However, this idea was hopeless because Israel's defense from such maneuvers was at the highest level. Either way, Melvin did not abandon his game plan and searched for an opportunity to take his vis-a-vis to the ground. In fact, Avatar was not against working on the mat, but he was doing it on his terms. When the fight crossed the midpoint, Adesanya got on top of his opponent,
Shoots, goes for the takedown.
oh, Israel with the takedown in the mount.
hammered him with big shots, and even tried to execute a submission
with
choke.
his back mount.
Melvin's been here. Oh, the
Here we
rear
go,
naked choke's
rear
locked
naked
in.
choke. He's got
That's
it in.
tight.
It's in
That's
deep.
very
In
tight.
other words, the New Zealander kept Guillard tensed up for the entire given time and dominated him in every single aspect. Eventually, the American's suffering came to an end by the final minutes of the first round, when Adesanya had enough fun with him and finished the night with a flashy TKO.
Melvin stuck in the corner. Israel's going to drop bombs into the ref stops this one.
We've only got 20 seconds left on the
Melvin,
clock.
hang on.
Melvin should be able to make
it's
it.
over.
It's all over me.
You know, I've got this belt now. Let's realize I'm a world champion, finally. It's been a long time coming, you know, but within the next 2 or 3 years, we're going to turn this A into a U, I promise. Watch me.
Number 8. Stuart Dare. And before we get to the last stylebender's journey in the world's best league, we suggest you remember his last fight outside of it. On November the 24th of 2017, our hero performed at Hex Fight Series 12, where he clashed with his 11th opponent in the career for another local championship. Like all of the previous opponents of our hero, Dare also naively went on to get in close range and everything that goes with it. At first, he pressed Israel to the fence and then quite successfully took him to the ground. However, he couldn't hold him down there for long, which was expected because very soon Adesanya stood back up and tossed his opponent on the mat himself.
Double underhook. No, he's got double overhooks. Over and under. Oh! He gets reversed!
For such an insolent and overconfident attempt to impose his style, the New Zealander decided to punish Stuart on his own field and was not in a hurry to get back to his feet. And when it happened, the Australian's health bar began to melt very fast. The Avatar, who showed his ground skills, started to introduce his opponent to other tricks in his arsenal. In the end, the action turned into a one-sided beatdown which continued until Dare's body reached its limit from the received damage. Jabs, elbows, knees, kicks, absolutely everything was landing on the target and piercing the poor guy's defense, until one high kick put an exclamation mark with 10 seconds left in the round.
10 seconds.
Thus, Adesanya conquered another title, an 11th stoppage victory in a row. Number 7. Rob Wilkinson. On February the 11th of 2018, Israel Adesanya debuted in the UFC. At the 221st event, this young and undefeated prospect broke into the card to impress the organization's representatives and start a new branch of development in the middleweight division.
I'm not really looking for it. It just happens. If you go looking for those finishes, they never push too much maybe, and it never really happens. So I'm just going to do what I do, keep the same energy. It's just in a different cage.
In fact, he managed to do everything he talked about in a brilliant fashion. Avatar completely obliterated Wilkinson, made him bleed, and did not leave him any chances to survive in the second round.
Bender does it 12-0. He makes good on the UFC debut tonight.
A great debut for the former kickboxer.
First of all, I just want to say something to the UFC fighters, the personnel and personnel backstage, to the downwards and upwards. I see you guys creeping on my Instagram. Don't think I don't see you. You're watching me, and I've been watching you. But then when you run up on me, you act like you don't know me. Boy, you know who I am now!
Number 6. Derek Brunson. After the win over the Australian, Adesanya added 2 more decision victories to his streak. Then he expressed his desire to fight the legendary Anderson Silva, who at that time was still in suspension. Given that, the world's best league put the young talent against Derek Brunson, who did not hide his jealousy about the public's attention towards the new star, and decided to use trash talk in the lead up to UFC 230.
Israel, you're skinny, bro. Hey, you better lift some weights, man. You're skinny as hell. I'm not worried about you. I'm an All-American wrestler.
I might be the ugliest
I'm gonna
thing, but I'll
dunk you
whoop
on
your
your
ass
head
any
for
day.
3 rounds, bro,
Any
till I
single
finish
day.
you.
Fuck
I'm gonna
up.
show you
Start
what's
November
up.
3rd.
Yeah.
Bring that chin on the platter, and I'll clean it off as well.
As the saying goes, divine karma in action. Israel Adesanya totally annihilated Brunson at every level and finished him already in the end of the first round in his commonly spectacular fashion.
Yeah, I feel that way, but I'm the best fighter. I want to prove I'm the best fighter. Like, you know, my ego, like I've told maybe some of you reporters, I said my ego was what drove me here, because I knew I'm the best striker in the world. But I've seen too many street fights, too many situations end up on the ground. Like 80% of street fights And I always feel, I never want to feel vulnerable in any situation. I never want to feel like another guy can have me.
Number 5. Anderson Silva. After the victory over Brunson, the world's best league was not against the idea to put two extremely flashy strikers against each other in the octagon and finally booked the fight between the Brazilian Spider and the last Stylebender. On February the 10th of 2019, our hero entered the cage to snatch the torch from the legendary performer and claim his greatness.
Right? I took a lot of stuff from him, like a lot of, dude, when I used to, when I first started fighting, my crouch, when I used to just the crouch by itself, that was me trying to imitate him, you know. But now I've got my own crouch, you know. Mine looks like like a flying eagle, and I've got my wingspan displayed, and I'm just holding the fence, just holding on, just ready to attack.
The rivalry of Adesanya and his idol went down in UFC history forever and solidified our hero's status as the next contender for the company's gold.
Adesanya digs those toes into the body. They exchange spinning techniques, neither party able to land. Final 10 seconds of the fight. What a fight! Breaking it down.
In the conclusion of 3 rounds, Israel beat Anderson Silva via unanimous decision and added a 16th victory to his record.
I'm the #1 contender. I'm the guy fighting for the belt. Or I don't care, Kelvin or Rob, whoever it is, I'm fighting for the belt. Whoever has the belt, because I see Kelvin walking around with that belt.
Number 4. Kelvin Gastelum. As we said, the win over the legendary veteran happened to be enough for our hero to contest the middleweight title. 2 months later, Israel Adesanya entered the octagon to conquer the interim championship at UFC 236.
I don't think it's going to be grappler versus striker like everyone's assuming, because Kelvin can bang. And I can't remember the last time he even shot for a takedown. He likes to stand and bang, but he's not going to do that with me.
All things aside, the New Zealander happened to be wrong on this one. Gastelum was not a timid type and put Adesanya through the toughest whooping in his entire career.
Performance by Adesanya. What a performance by Gastelum. Gastelum's exhausted. He's very hurt. He's barely there anymore.
Oh my God, the spray of blood. Oh, they can stop this fight.
Final 10 seconds.
That's it.
Gastelum goes down.
In the conclusion of 5 brutal rounds of war, though battered but still happy, Avatar became the interim middleweight champion.
He's a tough guy. Like afterwards, when I was on top of him, I was throwing blows. Like he sat up and then we looked at each other like fuck. It was cool. Like we knew what we did. We knew what we shared in that space, and it was special. And these are legendary moments, man. Legendary moments in time and history. And I'm so grateful to be a part of it.
Number 3. Paulo Costa. Perhaps you might be asking a question why we skipped a number of steps, not overviewing the title fight between Adesanya and Whittaker before talking about his defenses. There is an explanation and it's rather simple. The conquest of the undisputed championship is a lot bigger of an event than the clash between the New Zealander and Borrachinha. That's why we will talk about it first and then get to the most interesting stuff. So by September of 2020, the last Stylebender entered the cage to tame the wild knockout artist from Brazil who blindly believed in his power and completely dismissed the huge experience of the champion in the lead up to UFC 253.
He's dumb and he walks forward and he throws shots. That's what makes it really exciting, and that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to this big, inflated ignoramus running up on me, trying to throw shots as I keep moving and sticking him. And eventually, when this gas tank runs out after the 3rd round, sorry, this round there, put your away. This is ESPN.
Like
Mickey Mouse don't want
you like
your away. Oh God.
Overall, everything went down in accordance with Israel Adesanya's predictions and traditions, who precisely described the action to the last word before it even happened.
if he wants to stay in this fight, because Izzy will do this from the outside for the rest of this fight if he has to, if he doesn't catch him in the meantime. But now, since he's been attacking the legs so much, Izzy can afford himself now to take risks and start going upstairs, because now he's got Costa's attention so much. Oh! And then he's out. And then he's going to go to the leg again. Oh! Knockdown for Adesanya! Costa trying to recover!
In other words, Avatar took Costa to a school of striking mastery and finished him already in the second round by a TKO.
From the first meeting, I met him and I knew, I was like, bro, there's no cameras, there's nothing, and he didn't keep that same energy, and I knew.
Number 2, Robert Whittaker. And here's what we were talking about a couple of minutes earlier. On October the 6th of 2019, the interim UFC Middleweight Champion entered the octagon to change his status to the undisputed one. And the one to help him with that was none other than Robert Whittaker, who was as prepared for the UFC 243 event as never before.
I'm the better fighter because you look at my last 2 5-round fights and look at his last 2 5-round fights. Obviously, MMA math doesn't work that way, but you look at the way I am in the 5th round, even in my last fight, I showed out. You know, you look at the way he was in his last round of his last fight, how he looked against a 43-year-old wrestler. Now, I don't strike like a 43-year-old wrestler. I don't, pick my shots like him. If I hurt you, I'm not going to try and bum rush you and then gas out. I'll find the shot and I'll put him away.
No matter how much of an elite fighter the Reaper was, Adesanya clearly showed him that there are levels to this game. The striking prowess of our hero completely outworked Whittaker's technique and knocked him out stiff under the loud ovations of thousands at the arena.
Just leaning back out of the range of those kicks. He's got to be very careful.
Though, to be honest, he could finish Whittaker already in the first round because he knocked him down bad in the very last seconds. Thus, Israel Adesanya became the new UFC Middleweight Champion.
You ever heard about the anime called Death Note? Anyone? Hands up? Yeah, so he's the Grim Reaper, right? I have a Shinigami with me, and I just had to write his name because I was like, he's not gonna last. I just wrote his name in a Death Note, and those who knows the rules of the Death Note, they know there's a certain time frame that after your name's written in the Death Note, the Shinigami will get you. So yeah, it is what it is, and it happened as it's supposed to be.
Number 1, Alex Pereira. And of course, at the number 1 spot, we will overview, in our opinion, the biggest event not only in Israel Adesanya's professional career, but also his whole life. Namely, the last Stylebender's vengeance, which is already considered legendary. By April of 2023, our hero had time to lose his world championship to the Brazilian kickboxer who followed the New Zealander's steps, went on to conquer the UFC. As a result, Alex Pereira managed to take this rivalry from one sport to another and also give the Avatar an irresistible desire to do what nobody could, to noose the Powhatan himself.
It's a good question. What's my motivation? I've never not been motivated to fight this guy, but for this one, I've put the pressure on myself, like, fuck the belt, everything else. I have to beat this guy. So yeah, that's, I guess, my motivation is just beating him. And like I said, they can say whatever they want. It's 1-0 or 3-0. I don't keep score. I settle them, and I just need one, and I'm gonna get it done.
The main event of April's UFC 287 event happened to be one of the greatest and most triumphal moments in the history of the world's best league. It wasn't just about the mere clash between two decorated fighters, but also their long history and the outcome of the fight. Because Israel Adesanya managed to knock Alex Pereira out and become the only current fighter who beat the Brazilian inside the promotion.
Pineda stalking here late in the round. There's that leg kick again.
That one hurt him. That one hurt him. You saw him buckle with that low kick.
He's going to limit him to southpaw.
Again. Pineda so dangerous.
Right from Adesanya. Pineda down and out. Order restored. Adesanya has finally done it.
regardless of what anybody says or how many times they poked at the avatar and mentioned this 3-0 score, this guy did what he had to do. Retrieved his championship and fulfilled his revenge that haunted him for many years.
Hey, shush, listen up. I want to say something. People, Earth, I need to say something. Listen to me. I hope every one of you behind your screens or in this arena can feel this level of happiness just one time in your life. I hope all of you can feel how happy I am just one time in your life. But guess what? You never feel this level of happiness if you don't go for something in your own life. When they knock you down, when they try on you, when they talk about you, and they try to put their foot on your neck. If you stay down, you will never ever get that resolve. Fortify your mind and feel this level of happiness as you rise. One time in your life, but I'm blessed to be able to feel this again and again and again and again and again.
What do you think? What awaits Israel Adesanya in the near future? Can he beat his new rival in the face of du Plessis and conquer the title for the 3rd time? Leave your opinion in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the new videos, and of course, hit the like button if you enjoyed this one. See you soon.